Hi guys, Vipin here. My student Puneet from Christ University requested me to take him through this interview. Just a moment, I'll just straighten my headset. Yeah. So he has something to do with Best Manager and he needs to interview startups. So he went about asking my venture. So let me keep this interview as short as possible because I need to get back to watching some cartoons. So, what inspired and motivated you to start vipinmks.com? Mostly laziness, to be quite frank. I was handling company law in this college and I didn't want to go about giving notes in class. My way of teaching is explain the topic with respect to reality. Notes is something which is purely from the exam point of view. The only way students can learn is if you can link textbook material with reality. So I would spend most of the class hours by explaining the concepts with reality, how it works in reality versus how it is actually written in the textbook. And of course, when it comes to go about giving notes for the exam, I thought of, okay, how about I email these guys for the notes that I've made. And it turned out that email is a pretty painful thing. There would be at least around 60 students. Writing down their email addresses and then adding them to Gmail and then sending them is pretty painful. So I found a relatively easier and a long-term solution to this. Put this all on a website. I found out you can create a free website on Google. My first website was https sites.google.something and it was limited to just 100 MB space. So that's where I would go about putting across the notes of my subject. Company law. And then it turned out to be a pretty good hit. The students found it extremely helpful. The other classes which I wasn't handling would also go about referring there. So that was good motivation for me. I noticed that, okay, if you do it online, it always has a better value than doing it, say, through the email or having it given to class. Why restrict my knowledge to just one class? Let's make it available to everybody. How do you see your present job in terms of opportunities and challenges? Opportunities will be there forever. Education is an evergreen sector. So opportunities will always be something that I will find right around the corner. Challenges, on the other hand, I see that, okay, there is a major problem that is going on in the education system where all the teachers do today is just read the textbook and make students write down notes. No. That's not how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to link concepts from reality versus what is actually being written in the textbook. Now, don't ask me how I go about doing it. That's a different article for another day. But that's pretty much what I do. If I see something like there is a concept in the textbook, like for example, law of diminishing marginal utility, I'm able to link that concept with something that happens in a student's day-to-day lives. So like for example, when it comes to buying a cell phone, the first couple of weeks once they bought that cell phone, like very excited, having high enthusiasm about using that phone. And by the time the second week gets over and the third week starts, they're like, oh, okay, it's just a cell phone. It's nothing major. So that's one thing that that's one thing that you can link to when it comes to law of diminishing marginal utility. That's pretty much how the challenges that I face. Anything that is there in the textbook, I have to go about making it available with something related to reality. Now, a lot of colleges don't do this, and that's where I come in. My opportunities are to fix these problems, and I love fixing things. I love just dismantling everything apart and just putting it back together again. So that's one opportunity and the challenges that I would actually face. How do you strike a balance between personal life and work life? Not a big problem. I work on my own. I don't have any employees. So balancing work life and personal life is not a challenge at all. Work life for me is fun. I love making these videos. I think this is the 85th video which I will be making. I love making videos. I love writing articles. I love researching. So work life is fun for me. I find it very entertaining to go about making changes on my website, adding new content on my website. That's how it keeps my brain active. And personal life, I don't really have any big challenges or difficulties in running through. I'm not married, so I'm happy there. And that's not really a big challenge at all. I'm happy in both the cases, so no difficulty in striking any balance there. How do you ensure the best performance from your subordinates or employees? I don't have any employees, like I said. How do I ensure best performance in myself? I have obsessive compulsive disorder. It's a psychological thing wherein I have to make sure that things go my way. So when it comes to making notes, for me, whatever the syllabus says, everything from there should be made into points and put across in my study material. I make sure that I don't miss anything at all. So when I do that, that ensures the quality of material, the study material is in fact the best. Another way that I ensure best performance is, like I said, I love to go about fixing things. I notice that students' fundamentals when it comes to commerce topics is pretty bad. So I ensure that there is improvement in that by making videos on this, writing articles on this. That's what keeps my performance up. And then what marketing, HR strategies? HR strategies, absolutely nothing. It's just me who's doing this work. Marketing, word of mouth. Initially, when it comes to telling people that, okay, refer to my study material, they would always be skeptical. That's how the system works. You come out with a new product or a new service, the people will always be very skeptical about it. So later, after a little bit of encouragement, and for many people even printing the study material and showing that, look, see how the quality is better compared to anything else you come across, these guys got interested, the students got interested, and that's what made the marketing work go on so well. Mostly word of mouth and showcasing high quality in whatever I do. Then what challenges have you faced when it comes to marketing? The problem was I was working in a college for nearly 5 years, and working in a college and doing this together is always a challenge. That's a major challenge when it comes to time. The college I was working was both a day and an evening college, so I was out for nearly 13 hours a day. And that made it very difficult for me to actually make anything innovative for my website for a long period of time. So for nearly 3 years, my website had absolutely no innovation whatsoever. Only like the last 6 months, ever since I stopped working in a college, I was able to make something of innovative value. So the one thing I find when it comes to innovation is there is really no limit to your improvement. I just started off by making company law, study material related to company law. Now I have articles where I compare mythology, Hindu mythology with science. I compare how the divine weapons are made. I show the science behind these divine weapons. I write articles related to pop culture. Like I'm currently working on an article where I talk about Team Rocket from the Pokemon franchise, how they are very similar to the modern day multinational companies when it comes to doing big things and failing miserably when they do big things. So being innovative for me is a bit of a challenge because there are a lot of things which you can actually do to make education improve considerably. And making sure once I put my effort in that and maintaining quality in that, that's a challenge which I face when it comes to innovation. I can always put my foot into something new, but ensuring that the quality is consistent, that's a challenge that I always face. Marketing your startup, like I said, I've said that before, mostly encouraging students and like go through mine, see how mine is better than the rest. Employee management and communication, no problem. Communicating with myself is not a difficult thing. Finances, to start weaponmks.com, I spent 1,700 rupees in the first year. And that's the money that I had to put in for the first year. But afterwards, since I started to improve a little bit of marketing, all that, I don't think I had to spend a large amount of money. Today I run multiple websites, and the server that I use is a premium server. So I think it cost me around 15,000 per annum. My revenue sources are through advertisements, which are there on vipinmks.com and the other websites that I run as well. So the finances are not really a problem for me. Who are your important stakeholders and how are they important? My stakeholders are my students. Why are they important? Because these guys need to learn, they need to improve, they need to make something of themselves, not just getting 100 on 100 in mathematics or statistics. That's no big deal. Making a name for themselves, that's what I mean by doing something with their lives. Those are my stakeholders, and the objective of vipinmks.com is to make these guys do something useful, something which is recognized by society. That's what the objective is, and the way I make them learn, I'm very certain that these guys will go about doing something of significant value in their lives later on. Then what do startup expect the most from their future managers? I really don't know. It's just me who's working here, so it's hard to go about answering that. Your biggest learning as an entrepreneur, there is no limit to innovation. The Japanese model of Kaizen, you can always improve, there is no limit for your improvement. I follow that philosophy, I live by that philosophy, and that's how vipinmks.com works. Right now I'm into mostly commerce. I'm sure that later on I'll be able to innovate, I'll be able to learn, and I'll be able to even go about incorporating science subjects as well on vipinmks.com, art subjects is on vipinmks.com, SSLC, CBSE, ICSE, all that is something that's going to be part of my website. So the learning here is there is no limit to learning. It's just a psychological barrier when people say that, okay, I've completed my education. And there's really no limit to your improvement and no limit to your learning. So thank you for your time. I hope I didn't bug you too much, and I hope I didn't sound too arrogant. If I did, sorry, that's how I am. So see you guys. Thank you, Puneet, for this interview. Bye.